Hello and welcome to this webinar of advanced use of Trimble Connect in production. My name is Anders Larsson. I work as an innovation lead here at BuildingPoint Scandinavia, and with me today I have
and I work as a technical consultant here.
And behind the camera and all gadgets we have our marketing guru Thomas. And today, push the right button. Today we're going to mainly cover 3 different types of workflows, or some of the topics within those workflows. We're going to talk about the engineering workflow in Trimble Connect. Then we're going to go into the pre-construction phase, and then we're going to end up in what we do actually on site and how we use the information that we have prepared for the construction. So we assume that everyone knows a little bit about Trimble Connect when you attend this webinar, because we're going to just jump into the workflows, not cover the basics. If you have any question during the webinar, please write them in the chat and we will answer them during the webinar, and we will also combine all the questions and answer. We can send it out afterwards. So to begin with, just want to briefly touch on what Trimble Connect is for us in BuildingPoint Scandinavia and how we use it. We work mainly with Trimble Connect as a production BIM platform for general contractors or owners or what happened in the fields. So we use it as a collaboration platform, a CDE platform, and that involves everyone in the project. So we talk about information sharing and information structuring for production, and how we break down information from the BIM model to digital work packages. And we also help out developing methods, how to use it, and sometimes where the software is not enough, we add on different types of extensions and other things that we do.
Based on needs.
Based on needs. That's the correct one. So I'm just going to have on, and she's going to start talking about the engineering phase, and then we're going to move over to the pre-construction phase, and then I'm going to come back and present a little bit what we do on the construction sites.
Yes. So, okay, I'm going to take over from here. I'm going to talk about the workflow in the engineering phase. When the project is in the engineering phase, here is one typical workflow that BIM coordinators will meet. Structure team exports the model in IFC from the design authoring tool, for example, Tekla, and delivers it at Trimble Connect. The BIM coordinator opens IFC in Trimble Connect and does a quality check and finds the potential design issues. For example, here I want to check whether all the column objects have the property is external. I can use the organizer to do it. Open the organizer from the side panel. Click New Rule-Based Group. The panel will open. Select the models. Create your rule definition by adding properties you want objects to group by. Since I want to check whether all the columns have the property is external, so I group them first by IFC class. Then I group them further with is external. Click Save. And just a quick tip here, the BIM coordinator should be familiar with the information that is contained in the model. This way they can use the information to group the model objects or for other purposes. And what kind of information should be included in the model objects highly depends on the specific needs of the company or client. For example, if the intention is to use the model for material takeoffs, certain attributes should be included in the model objects. These attributes might be length, volume, weight, and so on. And the requirements for the information should be agreed upon with the project and be written down in the document, like the BIM execution plan or EIR, Employer Information Requirements. This way, everyone is on the same page about what information is going in and how is it going to be used as the project moves along. Open the group, and expand the column group, I can immediately see there are two objects which don't have its external property. Then I need to communicate the issue with the structure team, which is responsible for fixing the issue. And such communication can be made in various ways, by emails, drawings, markups, but the most effective way is using BCF files, BIM Collaboration Format files, an open industry standard from Building Smart International. Trimble Connect BCF topics can gather all the design issues found in our project. In BCF topics, we will store, manage, and also track all the issues. Open the BCF topics. Click the plus button. The new topic panel will be displayed. Write the title and description. Missing information. Update the property value of its external. And assign the topic to the structure group or to a responsible engineer. Choose type, issue, priority, normal, choose the due date, add text, structure, and status new, and save. And I can choose to link the objects to my topic. The design team and structure responsible engineer will get the notification and open BCF. The structure designer will back to the design authoring tool, here is Tekla, and make modifications to the model. And then export the new IFC files with fixed issues found during the check. They deliver the updated version of IFC to Trimble Connect. Then they update the topics to inform the property values have been updated and the new version has been updated to CDE. And update the issue status to done and notifying the BIM coordinator. The BIM coordinator then again will get the notification that the model is updated, and the new version of IFC has been uploaded to Trimble Connect. I open the organizer to do the quality check again, and it notifies me that it's outdated and the new data is available. And since rule-based group is dynamic, we can just update the group to get the up-to-date result. We can see that the structure designer has updated the property value. We can also use the model comparison function to see what changes have been made between two different model versions to get more control. We can use Trimble Connect desktop version to do this change control. The model comparison function can allow you to compare the IFC models visually in 3D. You can select any two versions of a single model or any two models in the project for comparison. Comparison detects geometry and property changes only when objects have GUID. Only part level changes are detected. And you can choose to view the comparison result temporarily or save the comparison result. So, open my project in Trimble Connect desktop version. Select the model and click the compare icon. Choose the versions that you want to compare. After clicking the compare button, the comparison panel opens and the comparison result is displayed in 3D. The different types of changes are shown with different colors. Blue means only properties were changed. Green means newly added objects. Gray means changed or modified objects, and red means deleted objects. To explore the different types of changes in their respective layers, we can open the Objects panel and group by layer. Then you can get an overview of the changes. Double-click an object in the 3D view to open the Properties panel to view the comparison result. For example, if I double-click this column, I can see that its external property is changed from unset to yes. Star symbol at the end of the property name indicates a change in the property value. The same with this one and this one. And I can choose to save the comparison result by clicking the Save Comparison in the Comparison panel. The comparison will be saved under a folder called Model Comparisons. Okay, since now I checked the new version of the IFC from Structure Discipline and confirmed that the property values have been updated, now I can close the case. Go to BCF Topics and change the status from Done to Closed. And all the closed topic will be hidden from the main active list. So, in a short summary, the workflow is: each discipline exports its model into IFC to Trimble Connect, the CDE of the project. BIM Coordinator opens the IFC file and does the quality check of the model and finds the potential issues. BIM Coordinator communicates issue with the design team, which is responsible for fixing these issues by using BCF topics. Design team makes modifications to the model and then export new IFC files with fixed issues found during the check and updates the issue status. BIM Coordinator refresh Trimble Connect and checking process starts again. When the issue is fixed, BIM Coordinator can close the case. Okay, now we will talk about the workflow when the project moves towards the construction phase and what BIM coordinators need to prepare to make the project go smoother. In Norway now, a lot of projects are drawing-free projects, and that's also the trend of the future. That means we need to add more and more information to the model objects. That's nice, and we should do that. But at the same time, we also need to narrow down the information. For example, a concrete worker who will work on a concrete foundation doesn't need information about all the objects in the project. He just needs information that is related to building this foundation. How do we do that? We break down the project. It's like, how do we eat a big elephant? The obvious answer is piece by piece. So, breaking down the model means getting specific information at a specific time, and this will make the project more under control. In construction and engineering, it is common to break down the project into smaller, manageable parts for better coordination and process monitoring. And there are a lot of methods to break down the model. For example, work breakdown, spatial breakdown, information breakdown, and so on. I will show you a simple example of how to break down the model and how to create work packages to explain how this works. First, I will break down the model into different phases. This is phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Since this model structure is well organized, I can select them directly from the model structure. The model structure is prepared by those who prepare the model in the design authoring tools. For example, Tekla. A good model structure needs some effort. A good model structure can be very useful for grouping and extracting information for further coordination. Open Organizer and create 5 groups, one for each phase. And I will use phase 1, the foundation, as an example. Open data table and group objects by material. Create 2 subgroups, one for concrete, one for rebar. Select concrete in the data table. Connect them to the group concrete. Do the same with the rebar. Now we break down the whole model into a manageable work package. We can also create a view of it. We can group the view, since when the project is moving forward, it will probably have many views. It's nice to keep them organized. To get more control of my work package, I want to connect it with more information that is relevant to this work package. For example, I want to have information about my work package's status to connect with my work package. I can do it by creating my own property sets in Trimble Connect and then linking this property set to my work package. With custom property sets function in Trimble Connect, people can create custom property sets and assign them to any model object or organizer group without having to access the original design authoring tool. You must create your library first before connecting custom property sets to model objects. Click New Library. Write a name and description for your library. Click Publish. Now you can create a new property set in your library. Click plus button to create a property set. As I mentioned, I want to create a property set about my work package's status. Click Add Property to add a property to the property set. I choose Property Type drop-down. Set status Planned, Ongoing, and Completed. I want to add one more property in this property set. Completion date. Property type, date. And one more. Comment. And publish. Now we can start to link property sets to our work package. Refresh the 3D Viewer page. Open my organizer and go to my work package. Click Open Properties panel, add Custom Properties. You can see our library from the panel. Tick off the property set you want to link to this work package. For example, here is status. Now you can add information to the property set. Status, planned, Completion date, since they are not installed yet, leave blank. Save. Now I have created the work package for the construction, and Anders later will show you how it works in the construction phase. This is very useful in daily work. So instead of searching for information throughout the project, people get exactly what they need. People who will be working on this foundation can first open this work package in Trimble Connect instead of loading the entire project's model. Okay, when the project comes closer to the construction phase, we also need to coordinate with the procurement to order the material. It's more and more common to do the material takeoff or information takeoff from the model since it's precise and up to date. Now I want to show an example of using data table to take out rebar information in a model. One tip here: if you want to use data table efficiently, you should first be familiar with property sets. You have an idea about which values can be used to group objects so that you get the correct information. As we can see here, for rebar, we have a property set called reinforcement. We can use this information in our rebar report. Open data table. Select all objects and group objects by class. Select IFC reinforcing bar and hide the others. Open the column setting. Remove properties that I don't want to present and add properties that are relevant to the rebar report. Rearrange the order of how the properties are displayed, and I want rebar to be grouped by size. And since I will use this set often in the future to take our rebar information in the project, I can save it as a preset, so I can use it again in the future without adjusting the data table each time. We can choose to save it as a project level or at account level. I will talk more about the account level settings later. Now I choose to save as a project preset. I will group objects further according to cost unit mark. And afterwards, I can export the table to CSV format. We open it in Excel, and later people can use Power BI and combine it with other data resources to do the data analysis. For example, cost analysis. Okay. Before we move further to the workflow at the construction phase, I want to talk a little bit about account level. Account level is a level above the project level. For example, BuildingPoint has an account, and it owns a certain amount of license in this account, and we can create projects under this account. Today, I will talk a little bit about two functions at the account level. One is data table presets, and one is property set libraries. The account admin can create data table presets at the account level and apply the same preset to multiple projects quickly. When we save the preset in the data table in the previous example, we also have the choice to save it at the account level. I will go back to the previous example and show you how it works. Open the column setting. Instead of Save as Project Preset, select Save as Account Preset. Now the new preset is marked as an account preset. Open the Account Admin dashboard. Click Data Table Presets. All data table presets that were saved as account presets are listed here. Click Add to Projects button for the preset that you wish to apply to projects. A list of all projects associated with the account is presented. Select the projects you want to apply the preset to. Click Apply. Now the preset is visible in the data table for all users in the selected projects. This is an efficient way to do the information takeoff if you have many similar projects in your company. The other function I want to talk about at the account level is the Master Libraries function. The Master Libraries function enables account admins to create template property set libraries and apply them to multiple projects. A master library is similar to a normal property set library. The main difference is that is created by the account admin at the account level. Open the Account Admin dashboard. Go to Property Sets, Property Set Libraries. Click the New Library button. From the library editor, you will be able to add name and description to your library. Add a new property set. Model review. Add property status. Choose drop-down as a property type. And type approved, approved with comments, and revise and resubmit. Click Save. The template is now ready to be used in projects. Go to Property Set Libraries in the Account Admin page. Select the Add to Projects option. Select the projects to which you want to apply the template from the list. Click Apply. Go to Project. Now we can see the property set is ready for use. After the account admin applies the master library template to a project, then the project admins can edit the library contents and set access control permissions in the project level. Okay, so now we will move to construction phase. I will give the presentation back to Anders, and he will take more control of it.
Control and control.
Control and control.
First of all, we've been through some of the, how we structure the information, how we want to break it down a little bit. And when we talk about the construction phase, we have been through a little bit that we want to break it down a little bit to smaller work packages. And a little bit how the communication out in the field is and how we utilize that into something that we can break down even further. So what we actually working on when we work in the field is taking that model that's been broken down, and we have a discussion with the field workers. In this case are the rebar workers, how we want to break it down even further so it's understandable for the field workers out in the field. And that ended up in a product when we used to how to visualize this for the rebar workers. So just how to present this in a way that is understandable and do it. So just some comments on this as well. We're gonna focus a little bit on this, that the rebar label extension that we have developed in a collaboration with Skanska to present this, and also we're going to use the status settings from that she presented in this as well. And so we go through some subjects. So first of all, we're going to focus a little bit on the custom properties and how to use them live in your project and how to update the status. And I'm going to use a little bit how to colorize this as well, so you can visualize that for all the team members or the product management and everyone else. And it's really important to communicate the status of the project. So let's see if we can press this once more. So we use the same example model that she has set up first of all, when we took a look at the work packages, we can check the status. Sorry for that. They were set in plan, ongoing, and completed stage. And we have set the date for this as well already, just to show the same thing that she mentioned. But if we, during the construction phase, we want to update this, so we go from the next level that we have a status of a project that is ongoing, and suddenly it's been completed. And therefore we just update its complete stage, and we set the correct date when the task was completed. So then it's easy for them to understand that this is communicated to the project team, that is updated and completed. And the next thing that we have set, the stage is ongoing for the next phase, the work package 3, but we want to set the preliminary date when we think we're gonna have it ready on production. So visualize this, you can use in different ways, but I've used the same thing, that's rule-based organizer, and set up the complete, ongoing, and planned stage. The first of all I need to do is update that one so the group is updated, and it's possible for me then to colorize it. Now it's only 3 colors, but to colorize them in completed, ongoing, and planned. So if you have many other stages that you want to visualize, you can do that as well, as unplanned or purchased, or on other type of status you want to include as well, and colorize everything. Then you can colorize large project into different values. So that was a short thing about the status update you can do using what she has set up as a BIM coordinator for this project. And the next thing I'm going to talk a little bit about how to visualize for the rebar workers what to do in the field. So I'm just going to do a short presentation about this rebar label extension that we developed for Trimble Connect. And it's a viewer that you're going to use out in the field for on iPad or BIM kiosk, as we say in Norway, or you know, a PC out in the field that you can access. But it's a way to structure the information into a marker that is yours on the project. And then this is just to structure the information and do less clicks for the rebar workers in the field. So what we actually need to do is decide, you know, the information that you're going to display. So all the information is in, you know, Trimble Connect. If you press the icon, as we mentioned here, is what technical reinforcements bar, and you have all the information displayed there. But the project themselves need to decide what the label is going to contain, because every time we set this up is a little bit different. So in this example, we have, you know, position number, size, center to center distance, and number of rebars. So let's take a look at this in the model that she has set up. Yeah, I think I start now. First of all, we have take a look at work package 1. It was the rebar work package. So first thing, this is an easy model, but just for the example, we have developed it a little bit further. So I divided it into 3 phases, all the rebars, just to make it easy. It's possible to even close to the construction that the rebar worker or site manager wants to do this in a different way. So to communicate this, we have done some views. So 3 different views for 3 different phases. And we activate one of those views, we can go into the rebar label extension. So the only thing it does, when you press it, it shows the rebar label that we have decided on the project. And if you press on the left side, it gets highlighted in the model. You can see all the different things. But if you press the rebar group, this is a technical model, so it's a rebar groups. It will highlight the group, and it's 3 different groups. So if you press that one, you see where they're all located. So I'm just going to show you a thing, because we didn't mention that before, but consistency regarding information in the model is really important. For instance, you have the red, this post number PF4, have the size, but there's no CC information. Therefore, this is something that you can find out pretty easy when you go through the model with the data table, but even though in the field, you can access this. So then you can either measure out in the field or communicate back to the team
with
that you need some
topics.
updated model with BCF topics. So, yes, gonna move on. So another example of this is, now we're showing a Tekla model, now we're gonna show a Revit IFC model. Is actually when we started up this, it was a Skanska project. So the difference is between Tekla and IFC models on IFC is that a Revit model is exported in this one. I can't talk about this as a single bar model. And a Tekla model is exporting IFC rebar groups. So that's the main difference. And the other thing that it was one color of every rebar, so we needed to add the colorization to the rebar as well. Just to show you a brief example of this as well. So this, we have the model, and eventually we're gonna open up just now you see both the concrete and the rebar model. So we're just gonna take out the concrete, just focus on the rebars. And we have done some in Organizer, we have done some exploring. This is more like a test project, so therefore it's been a little bit unstructured. But we explore the position number hierarchy in the model. So we can highlight that just to get an overview of where all the position number or building phase position numbers are. So we're just gonna focus on one this time, just explain. So we take the same one from this one and have created a view of it already. So we can easily access that if you want to just go through the view tab, and that is more easier maybe for a construction worker than using the breakdown structure in Organizer. Then it's gonna open up that view. And you can choose, the view should be set up as understandable as possible. And this is a little bit large of a work package. Normally see, but we just move it around a little bit so we see it in a slightly another way. And you're just gonna press the rebar labels button. So you can see here that the label on this construction is a little bit different setup. But even though if you press the same thing, press the left panel, it gets highlighted in the model where it is. And eventually, when we zoom in a little bit, we can press one of the single rebars in the model. And we want to see all the rebars that is connected to the same post number. Then it gets highlighted in the list. And if you press the list again, we will highlight all the rebars that are connected to that post number, or that group, or that label.
Or that label.
Or that label. So it was just a short introduction of how we can use the information out in the field. A little bit what been set up by she as a BIM coordinator, and the communication between the rebar workers and the BIM coordinator is really important to have to streamline this process. So what we did here today, what we talked about today, we went through some of the topics that in the engineering phase. To cover that, we also talked about a little about pre-construction phase, what we can do as a BIM coordinator,
what we need to prepare,
and a little bit down, why we do this, because it's normally we see that it's a BIM coordinator supports more or less 50 to 100 workers out in the field. So if the BIM coordinator is connected to what the needs are in the field, we can streamline the process heavily. I hope we informed you with something new, and I hope you enjoyed our webinar. And if there are any questions, please reach out to us. Other than that, I just want to say thank you for attending.
Thank you.
And I will always press the right button. I hope to see you next time as well.
See you.